Well, hi students, and welcome back to week 3 of BA1152 Quality Tools. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that this is all kind of settling in and that this is working with your other classes. So far, we've covered processes and the grams. This week, we're going to lighten it up just a little bit, but not so much. There's only one tool that we're going to look at, but I also have to introduce another process, and I'm also going to introduce the final project that is due in 3 weeks. So I'm going to go to module 3 and show you what's going on. Where are you? There we go. Okay, so discussion board and replies, one assignment, and I'm going to show you the final project. Okay, so we're going to look at the one lone quality tool called the check sheet. And it's over here on our little image. Okay, according to our optional text, it is used for counting and accumulating data and allows a team to systematically record and compile data from historical courses or observations as they happen so that patterns and trends can be clearly detected and shown. It creates easy to understand data that come from a simple, efficient process that can be applied to any key performance areas. It builds with each observation a clearer picture of the facts as opposed to the opinions of every team member. It forces agreement on the definition of each condition or event, and it makes patterns in the data become obvious quickly. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. The other thing that we're going to look at is statistical process control. In a perfect world, this would be in module 1 with processes, but it didn't work that way. So because we had just the one check sheet, the way I broke out the tools, I put it in here. Excuse me again. Okay. According to Wikipedia, statistical process control is a method of quality control which employs statistical methods to monitor and control a process. This helps to ensure that the process operates efficiently, producing more specification-conforming products with less waste. It can be applied to any process where the conforming product output can be measured. Okay, so I'll explain a little bit more about that. So there's here are your readings about the check sheet. There are 3, just like the others. And then there are readings about statistical process control. That will help. There are videos on the check sheet, videos on statistical process control. Your discussion is, in your own words, what is statistical process control? In your own words, how is it used and why is it important? You can use an example from your own life or something that we would all know. What quality tools are used in this process? How would you use this in your homeschool work or other? Apply to at least 2 others. This is also set up as a post first. So once you submit your initial post, you can go in and reply to at least 2 others. Okay, your check sheet assignment is this. You are to track the number of mistakes in a beginning typing class over a 3-week period, and your task is to organize them in a check sheet. Create a check sheet using the information provided using Excel or Word. You're given the first week's errors, which, I just came up with. So I gave you the first week to show you what it is. Go in and determine what the other 2 weeks are. Okay? Now, in a perfect world, you would think that people would get better as they go along. So you would think that in week 2 and week 3, these would get smaller, but maybe not. Just fill in the numbers, do a total across and a total down, and create your check sheet using this data. Okay? And that's the whole thing. You can use Word or Excel to create your check sheet and then submit it in the top. You can draw it by hand and you can scan it or take a picture, make sure it's very clean and that I can see it and that I can open it. And then you just click up here and browse your computer and submit it. All right. This is the information on the final project. You have 3 full weeks to do it. And what you need to do is draw on every single thing from every single module. That's very simple. Okay. 3 weeks. It is due before 10 o'clock on Saturday the 27th. Okay. In this scenario, you are a consultant hired to assess a situation and offer assistance in solving the problem of the situation. It can be a real problem at work or at home, something you saw on a TV show or in a movie. Just give me a situation. It will be better if you tackle something in which you are actually involved so that it's easier for you to analyze it and use the tools to solve it. And if it's something that you're involved in, maybe you'll solve it. Okay. So you need to analyze the situation, examine the current process that's in place, analyze its effectiveness, look at the waste, and then determine which tools will work in this situation as well as what will not and why. If you want, for instance, if you want to reduce the amount of water in your household, you will need to analyze what water is being used and when, what is the waste, create the tools to show a way your family could be more efficient and to save money. Now, there's some information here and here about something called the Tim Wood method. Make sure that you read that, okay? And this second one here where it says here is a Google search, it's literally just a list so that you can read whatever articles that you want about what the Tim Wood method is, okay? So, what quality tools would you use to analyze the causes of customer dissatisfaction at a call center, a restaurant, a hospital? What quality tools would you use to analyze a situation where deadlines are being missed? In other words, I'm giving you the answers here, okay? These are some scenarios, but certainly feel free to look around and come up with your own. All right, so here are the things that need to be in the paper. Determine the situation. What is it that needs to be analyzed? Go through the processes that are currently in place and analyze the effectiveness of that process. Now, obviously, something's not effective because your client came to you and said, I'm having a problem, and I need to consult with you and get an answer. Analyze any waste, determine the data that is being used, and use that data to create each of the tools, and then tell whether that tool will work or not, and why or why not. Incorporate the plan, do, check, act cycle. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. That was in, I want to say, Module 2. Create each of the quality tools using that same data and then tell why that tool works or doesn't work. Determine the best tools that will give your client the best idea of what is wrong and how to fix it. You can write your analysis and recommendation to the client as a memo. I'm so sorry, allergies have kicked in. You can do it as a memo to the client. You can do it as a memo to me saying, Acme Products contacted us. Here's what I'm submitting, and, to the client. These are the headings that should be in your document. And smart students like you will use each of these headings because it just makes it easier. Give me the introduction. So that would be a heading. It can be centered. It can be just like this on the side and then just continue on with the paragraph. Introduction, situation. What is the data? Determine the plan, do, check, act cycle for this. Then you're going to actually create each of the tools, of all of the 7 tools. They don't have to be on separate pages. They can be, 2 or 3 on a page. And for each one, I want you to specify, is this a good tool to use for this situation or not, and why? Does it effectively represent the situation? Then give me your recommendation and conclusion. This can be together or separate. It can be like one heading that says recommendation and conclusion or 2 separate ones. Use the tools that work and show your client the data and make a recommendation. Your conclusion should wrap up how the quality tools were useful. You're going to identify where everything went south, and you're going to identify this tool shows what the problem is. Go through the optional material if you want. And just make this as comprehensive. This project is worth 200 points. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a page for each one of these, but you should have all 7 of these tools and say, well, this didn't work because this collects this kind of data and that isn't your situation. Or this worked because this shows your data, how your data effectively shows what you're doing. So this is what you need to get started on. You have 3 weeks. And it should be, several pages, incorporate everything from every module. Next week, we're going to do the other 3, the charts. And so you can wait to do that, but start working on it now. And please do not procrastinate. Do not wait until the last minute. So, as always, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you have a fabulous week. Thank you so much.